Hey athletes, today I want to talk to you about food that just doesn't agree with you. So, I'm going to use a good example. Imagine a smoker. Some of you, you've probably smoked a cigarette or two. Some of you might have smoked for 20 years. Now, a smoker initially doesn't like the taste, doesn't like how it feels. It doesn't feel good in their lungs. But usually the person that's handing them that cigarette says, oh, once you get past this point, it's going to be really good. What's happening? Your body's adapting to the cigarette, which a lot of people know it's a poison. It's causing a lot of problems in your body. It's shutting down a lot of processes. And lung cancer, right? That's the big one. Lung cancer and all sorts of other things going on in your body. But you get past it and it gets you to the good point. Food is the same way. Initially, if you eat something and it makes you really gassy, it makes you bloated, you sleep poorly, you wake up in the morning and you're all puffy and you got bags under your eyes, and there's a whole myriad of things that could go wrong when you eat something that you just can't deal with. A lot of people get beyond that point, okay? Their body gets used to the poison, the whatever is just not agreeing with you, okay? You don't have to be allergic to food to have a response, okay? Or at least you don't have to have an advanced or a really wild allergic reaction. You don't need to bust out in hives. You don't need an EpiPen for your body to just not agree with something. So when you guys are eating, if an hour later you're really gassy, or an hour later you just got extremely tired, or you just feel off, chances are whatever the heck you just ate just isn't agreeing with your body. And if it's consciously making you feel off, imagine what it's doing to all of your organs, your unconscious mind, your brain. Your brain could be shutting down for all you know, okay? But Josh, how do we know if I've been eating something for a long time and it just doesn't agree with me? Well, it's time to battle some of your assumptions, right? If you're still participating in the April challenge, that's exactly what we're doing. We want to kind of experiment on ourselves a little bit. So maybe you give up eggs, maybe you give up dairy, maybe you give up whatever, okay? And then a few weeks go by, and I'm talking at least 3, if not 4 weeks, then you reintroduce them into your diet. And if all of a sudden you get super gassy after you add in brown rice or something to your diet, it just doesn't agree with you. You're going to have to find some other source of carbohydrate, fat, or protein depending upon what you're manipulating. But athletes, you will never know what agrees with you or what is going to work best for your diet if you guys don't play with it a little bit. So what I always recommend to athletes is eliminate anything that comes from a box, eliminate anything that is already pre-made or pre-packaged or something like that. Go back to some whole foods, okay? And for at least 3, if not 4 weeks, cut out all of that extra processed stuff. Maybe you cut dairy for that month. Maybe you cut all refined carbohydrates and sugars and things like that, and you just eat your fruits, vegetables, meats, and other things like that, tubers, legumes, rice, whatever. And then start reintroducing those other foods. You might do just fine with wheat. You might do just fine with dairy, but you might not. You might realize that when you eat peanut butter, you burp, okay? And it's an uncontrolled burp, and it always happens, right? That happens with my fiance. She eats some peanut butter and she burps. And she used to burp all the time when we first met each other. Now, she just took away peanut butter. She can have any other nut, any other seed, and she's fine. But she would have never known that had she not, hey, I'm going to try what happens if I just take away peanut butter for a while. And you guys should too. Because again, if you're burping, if you're farting, if you're bloating, if you're not sleeping well, there's a lot of other things going on in your system. And if your goal is to try to lose some body fat, to be an athlete, to be more fit than you were before, you can't really have that happening. So check out which food you're eating.